Another bright flash, another piece of the infrastructure removed from the board. Each impact is a tiny victory in a war of attrition. A resolution, but it was too close. The breath held in the command center is released. The sky is now more light than dark, a constant barrage of ascents and descents. Every single defender is activated at once. There is no holding back. Hundreds of signals light up the darkness, a wave of pure intent
from the shadows.
In this land, silence is just the breath before the storm. The chessboard is set. The Grandmaster prepares a move designed not to win, but to overwhelm. The first move, a simple probe, a flight of pawns sent to test the lines. The shield's response, flawless, calculated, and utterly predictable. And so the dance begins, a prelude to the much larger performance. The first Interceptor launches, a silver needle stitching the night sky. A flash of light, a burst of energy. The first pawn is removed from the board. From the eyes of the swarm, the world is a series of losses. On the screen, it's a clean removal, a problem solved with cold logic. Another launch, another successful intercept. The system performs its duty without emotion. In slow motion, you can see the science of it, the beautiful, brutal physics of interception. The rhythm is hypnotic. A launch, a track, a resolution, over and over. Confidence grows, a dangerous luxury in any fortress. The system operates with the elegant efficiency of a seasoned professional. The final pawn is cleared. The board is clean. But the game has just begun. But this was never the real offensive. It was the appetizer. A flicker of doubt in the mind of the machine's masters. This felt too easy. Now the true storm is unleashed from the shadows. Hundreds of signals light up the darkness, a wave of pure intent. The system's quiet confidence shatters into a million alarms. The map becomes a solid wall of red, a digital tide rising. The human element scrambles, trying to orchestrate a defense against the impossible. Every single defender is activated at once. There is no holding back. The sky becomes a canvas of defensive fire, a desperate attempt to hold back the flood. Each impact is a tiny victory in a war of attrition. Inside the command center, every screen tells a story of a battle on the edge. The sky is now more light than dark, a constant barrage of ascents and descents. The very foundations of the launchers tremble with the strain of continuous operation. The command is simple: hold the line at any cost. A brief, beautiful moment of contained energy, replayed for a fraction of a second. Then the opponent changes the rules of the game. The system is flooded with ghosts, false signals designed to confuse and exhaust. A wasted interceptor, a precious resource expended on a phantom. The digital brain is pushed beyond its limits, its processors glowing with effort. The numbers on the screen tell the real story. The shield is running out of time. The first true leak. A single target slips through the layered defense. A secondary battery engages, a last line of defense against the encroaching threat. A resolution, but it was too close. The breath held in the command center is released. Below, the world looks up at a light show with terrifying implications. The clock is ticking, and the opponent knows it. The final wave is prepared. This new wave flies differently, lower, faster, more erratic. A new nightmare appears on the screen. The storm has returned, stronger than before. The reload sequence is frantic, a race against the incoming timer. There is no time for procedure. It's a desperate scramble of metal and mechanics. The system begins to overheat, its components screaming under the immense pressure. A near miss, a game of inches played at thousands of miles per hour. The commander makes a choice: sacrifice the perimeter to protect the core. From above, the battlefield is a beautiful and terrifying chaos. The very air ripples with the force of the constant releases of energy. The gauges all point to one conclusion: systemic failure is imminent. A battery fires its final 2 rounds, its contribution to the fight now over. The empty tubes are a silent testament to the ferocity of the exchange. The sky is still full of threats, but the defenders are dwindling. A heavy silence falls over the command center. There is nothing left to do but watch. A single red light blinks, a heartbeat signaling the end of a defender. And there it is, the breaking point. A section of the shield goes dark. The first gap appears in the wall of light. A single red dot continues its journey, unchallenged, unopposed. Now the hunter has a clear path to its quarry. The impact is silent at first, a brilliant flash of pure energy. A node goes dark, a part of the network is blinded. Two more targets find a new opening in the compromised shield. A desperate final attempt manages to stop one, but the other continues. The second leak finds its mark, a target of strategic value. Another bright flash, another piece of the infrastructure removed from the board. The operators can only look on as the consequences of the breach unfold. A third impact, this time on a non-critical target, but the message is clear. The architecture of defense, deconstructed in slow motion. The storm now lands on solid ground, its fury no longer contained in the sky. A tower of steel, a symbol of communication, silently gives way. A fuel depot ignites, turning the night back into a brilliant, burning day. The sky is finally clear of interceptors. The defense is over. The Grand Master's plan has succeeded. The board is cleared in their favor. The human cost of a machine's failure is measured in exhaustion and silence. The commander stares at the static, the symbol of their broken shield. A piece of a defender falls to the earth, a forgotten fragment of the battle. A final localized defense system puts an end to the very last stray. And then nothing. The onslaught is over. Dawn approaches, its light painting a sky still hazy with the events of the night. The rising sun reveals the cost of the storm. The work to rebuild the shield begins before the smoke has even cleared. The system's code must be rewritten, its memory scarred with the data of its failure. The engineers search for answers in the wreckage of their own creations. On a whiteboard, the commander begins to draft a new doctrine. The operators are no longer just soldiers, they are now the most valuable data points. They found the flaw. Now they must turn it into a strength. But the true response wasn't being coded. It was being armed. A new piece is placed on the board, a piece held in reserve for this very moment. The pilot and machine, a single entity of purpose, their minds linked. The canopy closes, shutting out the world, focusing only on the mission ahead. From the heart of the Earth, the counter-move is brought into the light. This is not the sound of defense. This is the sound of a reply. A silver dart, leaving the safety of the nest. The sword, once sheathed behind the shield, is now drawn. The shield was tested. Now it's time to test the spear.